Okay, we're live in Studio B, your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. Jeremy Jordan alongside Shep. Big game in hoops tomorrow. Men's hoops at Utah. Tomorrow night, pregame on BYU Radio at 8:30. Cougars ranked 18th, 5-0. Utah's 5-0 as well. We welcome in our first guest of the day, Caleb Lohner. Caleb, first off, how was Thanksgiving, man?
It was good. It was fun. It was a day well enjoyed, and I think everyone's excited for this Utah game tomorrow.
What'd you guys do as a team?
Practiced in the morning, and then Coach Pope held a little thing at his house. We all headed over there, and then everyone kind of split ways and did their own thing.
How's Pope's house, by the way?
It's awesome. It's always fun
Yeah.
because every time we go, we're taking care of drinks, food, everything we could possibly want is
That's
there.
awesome.
So what's your go-to for Thanksgiving? Like, what was the go-to yesterday?
This is probably going to get hate, but the stuffing I loved.
I'm a stuffing guy as well.
Yeah.
I love
I'm not a
stuffing.
huge fan of turkey. I just think it's like one of the worst meats that you can get. And so for a big holiday, like we're eating turkey, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I never have. But the stuffing was really, really good. And
Nice.
then actually, Seneca's dad made 2 pies back in Louisiana and actually froze them and sent them here on the plane.
Oh, wow.
And they were phenomenal.
What kind of pies were they?
One was blueberry, and I think the other one was raspberry, but homemade. It was incredible. It was.
That's quite the trip
Yes,
to
that's-
bring
yeah.
those pies.
I know. It was like sacred cutting myself a piece. I wanted to make it as perfect
You're like,
as
this
I
didn't
could.
get smashed on a plane. I can't smash it now. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised. Like, I love pumpkin pie, but I only eat it on Thanksgiving. I'm surprised at how many people I've found out don't actually like pumpkin pie. I think it sometimes has to do with the texture. Are you a pumpkin pie guy?
I'm all for pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Amen.
Especially the Costco one. It's huge.
Oh, yeah,
It
dude.
lasts you like a month in your fridge.
Oh,
It's great.
Anything Costco, I'm in. I need an NIL deal with Costco, which, by the way, let's talk about Utah in a sec, but how are you managing the season, and it's going well and playing in NIL and school and all that? How's that going?
I mean, I think it's going well so far. Like 5-0, playing great. Yeah, I mean, balancing everything is sometimes a challenge, but I think coming into being a student athlete, everyone kind of understands that. So I'm just enjoying the process and loving it as I'm going on.
And NIL's going well for you?
Yeah, it's going great.
Good. Awesome, man.
What do you believe has been the reason or reasons why the team has started as strong as it has?
I think our ability to rebound the ball has been huge. Some of these teams we've played have apparently been top 10 rebounding teams, and we've smashed them.
For the radio audience, there was a fake quote there from Caleb. I like that.
So I just think if we continue to, I mean, there's going to be nights where our shots aren't falling, and we've talked about this as a team. If we can go in there and just out-rebound everybody we play, we're going to get those possessions back, and so we're going to have all these extra possessions that the other team's not going to get, and naturally our percentage of winning is going to go way up.
You had 20 offensive rebounds on Saturday. I know that was emphasized against Texas Southern. Now you're going to play a running Utes team that is plus 17 in rebounding margin, third in the country. That'll be a key again.
That'll be another
It's
key.
a big one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be big.
What is it about rebounding that changes the game? Obviously, getting extra possession, but what is it about owning that piece of the puzzle that equates to winning, in your opinion?
I think it's just, I mean, a lot of rebounding is effort, and I think it just shows like a continual effort and commitment to go get the ball. And I mean, one of the only percentages that actually correlates to winning a basketball game is more possessions. So naturally, if we can go out rebound our opponent and have more possessions than our opponent, we have a good chance to win. And we have all the pieces to do it. Like, we got athletes and long wingspans on the team this year, and it's super fun to go to the glass.
And I've been struck by that, too, because not everyone's three-point percentage is great, besides Alex or whatever. But, like, Seneca, you, and Gideon are all five, and Foose are all 5+ rebounds a game.
Yeah.
You guys are going after it, like you said.
Yeah.
This will be your first game at the Huntsman Center as a member of the BYU Cougars.
I don't know if you knew this, Caleb, but you signed with Utah.
Yeah, if you didn't know that,
BYU.
I want to know what you are expecting.
I'm expected to be the most hated person on the court.
Is that a good
And
thing?
Yeah, I mean, I love that because I think we as a team will feed off that because the team's got my back. Like, we're pretty close, and I think it's just going to kind of add this factor in of kind of not arrogance but chippiness in the game, and I'm super excited for it.
What's that like emotionally? Because obviously you were committed there. Now you're here, sophomore year, first time up there.
Yeah. I think it'll feel normal, and I've loved BYU every single second of it, and we've been rolling as a team, and so I think all of that momentum will just keep going, and hopefully we go get a win.
Well, and how much does it add? Not only, obviously, you guys are ranked, you're playing well, you're going in confident, but they're 5-0 as well. They've started the season. How much does that add to a rivalry game that's always going to be a big deal when both teams are actually playing really well?
I mean, I think it just adds more and more competition. And I think this rivalry game, especially between BYU and Utah, even growing up kind of understanding that rivalry, it's a game no matter what. Whether a team has won 2 games, whether a team has won 20 games, it's always a rivalry just because of that conflict between red and blue. And so I think having both of us start 5-0 and kind of have this rolling season already, it's going to just be even more intense than it usually is. So I'm looking forward to it.
Let's talk about the three-pointers. 0 of 8. You started 0 of 13 last year, but then shot 43%. You've said, I'm going to keep shooting. So how you feeling about that part? Because I know you feel like you're going to knock it down every
Yeah,
time.
I'm not worried about it. I'll see one go in, and it'll be over from there.
And it's going to happen Saturday.
Yeah.
It'll be over.
It will.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm
appropriate, yes.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Like, we practice, we shoot every single day. It's what we do as a team. I know there's a few other guys that aren't shooting the ball, I think, as well as they'd want to, but that's just part of the game.
But if you offensive rebound.
Exactly.
All
We
good.
get easy little bunnies at the rim.
Yep.
But no, again, it'll come. It'll come.
I wanted to ask you about Foose. Foose has become a fan favorite so quick. And it really is amazing, Caleb, just how good he is. And it seems like it's all just off of raw talent right now. I'm not sure he even realizes how good he can be.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, I've been able to play with him this is my, kind of 3rd year. I was there at Wasatch Academy with him for a few years.
So he was, what, a year younger?
He was a year younger.
Okay.
Yep. And I don't think he understands how good he is because, like you said, he's just kind of playing to play. I think there's even instances where if he understood a little bit more about the game, he'd be even better. But he's been phenomenal. Rebounding the ball, shooting the ball, finishing around the rim. He's been incredible. He's been very good for us, and I think will help us win games.
Yeah, he's been so fun. And it's fun when you have a nickname that the fans can say. He's like,
Yeah.
Foose.
So
like, are they booing?
I'm a Cowboys fan. So every
Sorry about
time
yesterday.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Every time Amari Cooper catches the ball, they go Coop. So every time I hear them doing that for Foose, I get all excited. I'm like, yes.
Like, is Amari Cooper here?
Yeah,
no,
I'm like,
it's Foose, which is awesome. Okay, we were talking about how big the day is tomorrow as well. Football at USC and women's hoops taking on West Virginia, who's ranked in women's soccer in the Elite Eight. Right now, BYU's crushing it, man. What's it like to be a part of the no-loss November?
BYU's killing it, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. And, I'm just proud to be a Coug. So I don't really know if I have any more to say about that. But
do you guys have a relationship with women's hoops to the point where you cross paths occasionally and talk a little bit?
Yeah.
Right now, they're crushing it.
Yeah, we see them. They're in our practice facilities, and when we share them, so we get to see and interact with them. But, yeah, they're killing it too. So go Cougs.
Go Cougs is right.
Yeah.
Well, and look, I'm not naive enough to think that it only happens here at BYU, but one of the things I think is really special, excuse me,
You're
about
getting emotional.
I'm getting emotional just talking about it, is all of the different teams that will go and support the other teams at their games. Obviously, if they're available, you know, and I know like Tijon is a guy that'll tweet at different sporting events and loves to go see. I think that is something that really bonds an athletic program when, you know, the men's basketball team will go watch the soccer team if they can, or vice versa. Just, I think that's a really cool aspect that we see a lot on campus.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it just boosts everyone's confidence. I'm a huge football fan. I watched almost every single football game if I had the time to. Like, I don't know, there is something special about BYU athletics right now, and I'm hoping it continues to roll.
Did you play football growing up?
I did.
In Texas?
Yeah. I stopped playing my freshman year of high school.
What positions?
I was quarterback.
You were quarterback.
I was sunshine, yeah.
With the long blonde hair. I love that.
Did you play any other sports besides basketball and football?
I played baseball when I was a toddler. It got too easy, though, because I just hit in the park home runs every single time. No one could catch me, and I was
You're
like,
I need a challenge. I'm going to play basketball.
I wish I could have played both, but it's just such a commitment in Texas playing football and basketball. And I just naturally kind of gravitated toward basketball a lot more. So
your dad played at BYU in the 90s. Was your mom athletic too?
She didn't do anything in college sports, no.
Gotcha. Did she play in high school?
I think she did track and tennis in high school. I could be wrong.
No, that's absolutely athletic.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, Caleb, we appreciate you coming in on a Black Friday. You get any good deals out there?
No.
Nothing?
Unfortunately, no.
Me too. I didn't get anything.
I'll find
You
something.
get anything?
I haven't even tried. I haven't even tried.
All good. We'll have fun tomorrow night up at the Huntsman Center against Utah.
Will do.
Let's get in the karma.
Let's give you the karma.
Yes, the BYU Sports Nation karma.
It's like good
Give me
luck.
the karma.
You got
Yes.
good luck.
Yes.
You're going to knock down at least 1 3. I promise. That means you need to take one, too.
You're right.
You got it. You're right.